Police officer Geronimo Inez was reacting to, quote, the presence of that gun and the display of that gun, end quote, when he opened fire on Philando Castile. He says, and that's coming from his attorney, Thomas Kelly. Matt Finn has the very latest. He joins us now from St. Paul, Minnesota. Hi, Matt.
Good afternoon, Elizabeth. Much more information coming out this afternoon in this case. We are starting to hear much more about the officer's side of the story. By and large, up until this point, we have only heard the girlfriend's account, mostly due to that Facebook video that many of us have seen over and over again. A short while ago, I spoke to the officer's attorney, Tom Kelly. He says that not only did the officer react to the presence of a gun, he tells us that Castile that day failed to comply with a do not move order. That Officer Inez ultimately told Castile do not move, and that he failed to comply with that order, and that there was apparently a visible gun. We've also went back and looked at the Facebook video, and there are certain freeze frames that might indicate a gun on Castile's lap. I spoke to the attorney of the officer, and he says it would not be far-fetched to assume that could very well be the gun on his lap, because he says his client, the officer, responded to the active presence of a gun. We have also heard police scanner audio that we cannot independently confirm right now is authentic, but that law enforcement officials tell us sounds and looks authentic. And that audio appears to indicate that the officer was telling dispatch the day that he pulled that car over, that he was pulling the car over because Castile fit the description of a wanted suspect in an armed robbery just a few days prior. We are working to confirm that information, but his attorney says this would be a valid investigatory stop. The officer went as far as to describe Castile before he got out of the car, fitting the description of that wanted suspect. The attorney says Inez is complying with police right now. He says he was with the department for 5 years and had no disciplinary action. Also, on a side note, the officer Inez is Mexican, according to his attorney, not Asian, as the woman Reynolds has described up to this point. Back to you, Elizabeth.
All right, Matt Finn reporting live. Great job, Matt.